And we are here. Hello and welcome to another stream. We're going to check to make sure we're online. Everything's okay. My streams are a bit funny that way, I have to admit. Just give me 2 seconds to just check that it's all good. And once we're flying, we'll fly at the... What the... What? Just... Okay. It's offline. Why is it offline? Just stop and reset. There we go. Just stop and reset. That seems alright. It's probably going to jump to a commercial. No. Good enough. We'll check in. Today we are working on the Matchbox Churchill AVRE Royal Engineers, sort of like a bridge layer. So I've got the bridge done so far the other day. I also need to do a bit of airbrush maintenance because it's clogging up from constant work. And what I want to do in this session is pretty much build it, prime it, and log off. It's about several hours to midnight, so we're going alright. Yesterday in the challenge, we have a bit of controversy. My third day, I was many hours late in uploading it. I didn't finish it, and I wanted to have a good enough finish or quality. So instead of rushing it, making it terrible, both the video and the model, I just put extra time into it and posted the video close to 5 in the morning. I'm not working for the rest of the week, so I can afford to do that. I wanted to start modeling earlier today. I had some personal agendas to deal with, family, work, responsibilities. That's all been taken care of. So hopefully we will have our company with each other for the next 2-3 hours in doing what we're doing. Once we get some people in the chat and the stream. For some reason the chat's not working. We'll give it a bit of a refresh, see where we're heading. Got some sort of connection issues, so I'm just going to check if we're all working well. Some people in the chat seem to be streaming. It must be my control panel's just completely fucking up on me, so that's a bit of a shame, but that's alright. It thinks that I'm offline. No, we got 5 people. There we go. How you going? Hello. Happy season. Happy chicken seasoning. Whatever. Too easy. So that's all working. My setup's still not the best, but at least we're good enough with cameras and whatnot for shits and giggles. Now what I want to do is quickly just clean these airbrushes out. So we're going to have the ultrasonic cleaner running in the background. That's not a biggie, not a big issue. Might be a bit loud because it's raining outside on the metal roof. Not much we can do about that, but we'll just carry on. Excellent. Get some water. Pour it into the cleaner. Dismantle the Sparmax. So nothing too hard. It's just a lot of the stuff that I already cover in my honing your airbrush videos. That's all good enough. Actually, there's some shit in there. That's actually kind of, it's a bit nasty. It's a lot of primer and grease mixed together. So we'll get them cleaned. Why the fuck not? This airbrush has been struggling a bit of late, and I could see. It is absolutely fucked. That's not a big issue. We'll get it absolutely fixed. I want to just clean everything in about 15-20 minutes. Shouldn't take too long at all. There's like some hair and build up and all sorts of crazy shit. Running out of lacquer thinner too. Gonna have to buy some more soon. Can probably buy that on my way into work or whatever. Who knows? So some of the seals do die and wear out when you soak them. With the right model airbrushes, it can be overcome by just revitalizing those seals and washes with a cotton swab. Make sure it's not removable at the front, or interchangeable needles, like some of those Iwatas and Stenner and hardbacks. Just an airbrush that takes one needle, one nozzle, one love. It's all good. So that's going to go ahead. I'll stick a bit closer to the microphone, and I'm going to lubricate this Hysing, which I've retired my old Hysing for parts. Wasn't too happy with that. And I'm going to operate this new Hysing. Among my friends and community, I'm actually going to be selling Hysing airbrushes. And the one that I junked for parts, it's still good, just the body's dead. So things like the spring and triggers and all that, nothing wrong with them. People lose them, they damage them, whatever. Okay. And I've sort of been really rough with the airbrush, painting the GOG, painting the tanks. Come to think of it, my honing your airbrush skills tips, it's probably time and due that they do get a good clean out. But I won't video cover it because there's other things that are occurring. I could probably do something like that in January. That's it's not a biggie at all. Man, this needle's caked as fuck. All the white paint can't get through it. There we go. Good rub, good rub. That's good. That's good. Almost done with this airbrush. Nice 15-minute quickie job. The other airbrush will take 5-10 minutes. And then we'll build. So don't worry too much. This is not going to be some like really long-winded airbrush repair video or anything. It just needs to happen. Just checking on the other airbrush. It's doing okay. Going to go get some lube. I like to use Vaseline. Just a very small amount. I've talked about airbrushing and showed it on video, but I've never sat there and just done it unedited and just talked and mucked around. It was for purpose of making a YouTube video and knowing people in the many of hundreds are going to watch. this and being informative and putting as much formal information and whatnot across, this is very informal, so I can just relax, talk, have a bit of fun. If I fiddle or stumble with a bit, that's not too much of a problem. That's probably a good indication of exactly how long it takes to clean and maintain an airbrush. It's not overly too much. I'll probably spend a lot of time showing slowly and talking and all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to show that you can just smash two of them in absolute no time. It's not a biggie whatsoever. So this is brand spanking new airbrush. I only used it once last night, twice. Sprayed like an absolute dream. No lubricant in it whatsoever. And we're just going to lubricate her a bit. Just so that everything can move smoothly. And if, you know, the tiniest inch of paint slides into it, it's just going to mix with the lube. And it will just run smoothly and beautifully. So that's not a problem whatsoever. This piece doesn't need any lube. That goes in. The tongue. I've already lubed the air solenoid. Oh, sorry, not the air trigger. This is the trickiest bit of getting it in. You just need to line it up because it's an articulated knuckle joint. When you feel you got it in, you look through the other side. And if you can't see brass, it means it's just folded in itself like that. Just got to try a few times. Sometimes you get it in the first time round. Sometimes you struggle. Obviously today it's going to struggle and fight me. And there we go. It's gotten in there. So that's it's pretty nifty. It's pretty out there. Can't complain too much whatsoever. And this way I have full control over the airbrush. It's going to spray and perform perfectly. Little lube there on the spring. We've got all sorts of metal working on top of each other. So if there's any paint gets stuck or seeps in there, it's just going to jam it tight like glue. And it's not going to be able to move or do anything, let alone slide ever so delicately and allow paint to go through. And if that's the case, that's it's no good. It's no fun. No one's going to have anything good. Now, I'm not going to test it. I'm just going to chuck it into the compressor and operate practically immediately. It's got a nice long thread. It's completely assembled. And yeah, all of that was done in less than 10 minutes. Nice and smooth. We're going to lubricate the needle a bit so it slides well, paint doesn't stick to it as much. Flush it with a bit of thinner when it's done. That's all it takes to oil up your airbrush when you got a new airbrush. Very quick, very, very easy. Can't complain. The Spar Max is almost done. Normally I let it soak for a lot longer. Today is just a quickie. It's not too gunked up. Well, there's no dried paint in it. It's just lubricant and wet paint. And it's only wet because it's formed in with the lubricant. That's done. You can see that the thinner's all dirty and disgusting now. Reclaim the water. Clean that up. And it's all Bridge Lane Churchill from there. And I can finally paint properly. Fantastic. Love using an airbrush that's clean and virtually brand new. I've been doing a lot of airbrushing of late, and just to check that there's no dirt inside there from the ultrasonic cleaner. Oh, there is a little bit left in there, so we'll swab it out. Otherwise, it's the grease isn't going to stick in there too well if there's still a tiny bit of debris in there. And we just keep swabbing until the swab comes out clean. Jesus Christ. It's pretty nasty, actually. Probably a few more problems with this than I've anticipated. That's probably why I couldn't get paint to go through it for nuts. I also took it to an event and let other people use it. And when you let other people use your airbrush, all sorts of crap can go wrong. No, come to think of it, I haven't cleaned it since the shit before the anime figure. There we go. So it's like overdue again. Pour myself a beverage. Too easy. Okay. Further swabbing, further cleaning, just investigating, rubbing the swab all over the place. I'm not picking up any dirt whatsoever. This is interesting. Forgot to clean this a little bit and remove it. That's alright, it's not too bad. Ooh. There we go. Bit of thinner. We'll swab it with thinner. I actually haven't done a thorough swab of old grease as well, so that could be another reason why there's issues. Could be an interesting future honing your airbrush videos concept. And we can see that there's less and less crap coming out now. One more swab, and then we can probably lubricate. Excellent. Fresh bit of TP, scrub, polish. Just always removing grease. There's grease everywhere on my hands, on the airbrush. It's crazy. Might have to leave to quickly wash my hands, but that's not a biggie. Not a big deal. So half the fun of maintenance. So don't need to use that no more. Oil her up. Grease it up. Take our time in doing a good job, so it's not a problem. This T-piece can have a little lubricant on it. Now, like the other piece, it's similar. This is separated from the trigger. At first, it seems to be harder to put in, but with a little practice, it's actually a lot easier. Just drop her in, lean the tail into the hole, the correct way, and then you push it down with the back of your needle. There we go. That quick, that simple. The first few times will take me ages to line it up properly. And every time you do it, you just get faster and faster. You chuck the solenoid in there. So when we put the trigger in there, it can just open and close. Trigger. Trigger happy. A little bit of lube. That was a bit too much lube. Grease it up so it's not going to stick to any metal surfaces and get stuck and tacky. May not seem like an important piece to do it. That's pretty helpful. Now there's some slotches that the bar across goes in, and it should spring up backwards beautifully, which is doing. We'll get the tongue in there next. It's not very graceful trying to get the parts out of the thinner. Cool, that's just water. You don't want to get thinner on a cutting surface because you're going to wipe away the little squares. It wrinkles up, it cuts, it breaks open, it creases, and then it takes forever to self-heal, which it eventually does. White Wolf Ranger, what you using to clean it with? It's lacquer thinner. Premium. It's known as premium acrylic thinner in some countries. Reason why is because lacquer has a bad rep environmental-wise in releasing fumes in the ozone layer and all that. So people started just using the term acrylic. If you read the materials and whatnot, it will say lacquer somewhere or heavy solvents. Last aid and help for spills. But yeah, the best thing about this one is it's a little more, $3-4 more for the 4 liters than other brands. Though it's very similar to Mr. Hobby Leveling Thinner. This thinner has a retardant in it, so it dries a lot slower, which is excellent for our purposes. So in general, I use that. Multi-purpose thinner is also pretty good. General purpose is probably most popular with people, though it's not often that it's just labelled as lacquer thinner, but that's exactly what it is. It reacts with lacquer acrylic paints. It's lacquer thinner. It does eventually kill your O-rings, but lubricating them with Vaseline, they will hold their grip for many, 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 many years to come. This is for your cheaper airbrushes, Sparmaxes, Hysings, whatever. For your nicer airbrushes, soaking them is not ideal. All they need is a wipe because the airbrushes just work a lot better and they don't get paint spilling in strange nooks and crannies. It's just a fact of cleaning out the bowl and the end, and that's it. And just a simple brush does a very good job of that. So I hope that that's a little bit of help. That's because I use lacquer paint. If you use acrylic, all you really need to use is just Dettol or Windex or methylated spirits. If you only use enamel, enamel thinner, white spirits, lighter fluid, enamel thinner being turpentine. Turpentine is very, very slow drying. That would be the cheapest alternative. If you use a mix of paints, just go for the strongest, and that's lacquer thinner. And lacquer thinner strips everything, including enamel, and of course water-based and alcohol-based acrylics. Now, I believe that's all the parts. We'll just pour it in here. Save it for a rainy day. see ultrasonic cleaner in. I use ultrasonic cleaner in Windex. That's absolutely perfect and fine. That would work for all your acrylics, your Tamiya's, your water-based, your alcohol paints very, very well. So that would also guarantee that your washes will survive for a very, very long time. The only thing that Windex doesn't like is plastics, but you just don't put your plastic parts of your airbrush in. Though really good airbrushes don't have plastic parts. But I'm only cleaning the airbrush for a very short period of time, and then we're going to get straight into building. The airbrushes are just absolutely revoltingly clogged, and I can't do any fine work with them. So it's all cool. I didn't think it would make for interesting viewing to clean the airbrush on camera. I just need to get it done, and I haven't streamed in 2 days. I promised to stream every day during Tank Week. It just wasn't affordable for the 2 days that I had my other job. I could not find the time to justify finishing the model, making the video, and streaming. Because when I stream, I tend to model a lot slower because I'm pulling things out, showing things. But now I'm actually focused on cleaning the airbrush quite fast and quickly, just a quickie, so I can get straight into the building and not bore you guys. So this is the second time we're doing an assembly and lubricating everything up. We did the heising about 20 minutes ago. And this is my Sparmax. Actually, I almost forgot to put that ring around. That was a bit silly to do on camera. I wasn't thinking for 2 seconds, so please forgive me. I've done this about 100 times, but I don't know why I just suddenly drew a mental blank. Didn't damage anything, but it just sort of made me look a bit silly. It's not too much. I do love the ultrasonic cleaner. It's just so easy getting all the nooks and crannies and just everything out of everything. And especially if you want to lubricate your airbrush with such a thick petroleum jelly as Vaseline, you also need to get it out when it gets tainted and dried out and disgusting and mixes with paints and whatnot. Being a bit quiet because I'm just focusing for putting the needle and the nozzle in, and you just don't want to damage that process. So we're tightening. You just tighten it with one finger, and that way you don't shear the actual thread out and just completely fuck your airbrush. Final step, needle nut. Down, up, pull back, really beautifully smooth. It's just going to absolutely glide. It hasn't felt this good for a little while to use. Give her a bit of a wipe up. I'm going to go wash my hands because there's a bit of grease and shit on it. And we're doing some building, finally. Alan, you've been here for almost half an hour. It's taken you half an hour to clean it. You said it'll only be 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Well, the Sparmax took a little while to do, but this is probably the cleanest or the quickest I've ever cleaned my Sparmax. It normally takes me about 45 minutes for one airbrush. 2 airbrushes in under half an hour. I think that's a bloody record. I'll operate okay, but I haven't done the painting the lines and the tests and whatnot. And I'm not painting lines this month because I've got 7 models to paint in 7 days. I think it can be forgiven that I'm not practicing for 1 month. Bear with me for a minute. I'm going to put this shit away. Throw some stuff out. I will be back. Now the real stream can finally begin. Sort the sandpapers out. It's almost tradition. Just lay there, lay out sandpaper. This one's getting a bit fucked. Fuck it, I'll replace it. 80 grit. 180. Skizzers. Where the fuck's my skizzers? Fuck it. Just rip it for the stream. It's not pretty, but it'll do. Running out of scissors. I need to buy like 10 pairs of scissors, so I've always got a pair of scissors somewhere. There we go. Want to just do up the seam a bit on this. I was watching, so I do some modeling. Most of the things when I model on YouTube, I like to listen and watch to the Drunken Peasants podcast. It's very political, can be controversial. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I enjoy it. Though there's also other things, documentaries, Star Wars, nerd theories, all sorts of other bullshit. I've been watching Stolen Valor videos. Now, what that is the case of a bit military, and it's a military subject we're working on today, very appropriate. What jokers do mostly in the United States, when you're ex-military, current military, whatever, when you're out of the military, generally the social services are not too crash hot, and the soldiers have to fend for themselves. In return, the community pitches in, and restaurants give them free meals or free drink, handouts, and can beg and whatnot. If they feel that they need to, take a knee because they've served their country and they've done the right thing and they've done the ultimate sacrifice and potentially dying or seeing their friends die, suffer mental health issues or physical health issues. And what happens is sometimes people will buy or steal a military uniform, wear it, and claim to be a veteran or a current serviceman and claim for free food, drink, event stuff or just people to honour them and get attention. Now, this is a federal offence in most places for wearing a military uniform and claiming to be military, and mostly because, these people are a bit weird, they're slobbish, they're on drugs or whatever purpose, they're just ill-informed, they don't have the discipline, the haircut, the body, the look, the mentality to be a soldier, as well as in not wearing the uniform right, they don't have the correct patches. So current or former servicing soldiers will film him, approach him, go, hey, how you going, whatnot. They'll ask him a few questions and trick him. And when they start flustering, they have a go and yell at them. And tell them, people died overseas, blah, 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 blah. And then you just watch them squirm and go like, oh, I didn't have any clothes to wear, or oh, I didn't know what I was doing, or oh, I wasn't getting free shit, whatever. And they'll just get embarrassed and humiliated by the soldier talking to them. Now, most of them are pretty scumbaggish, but there's a few of them that are pretty funny, where there'll be like some old guy wearing like an admiral uniform with about 1 billion medals, like he's a North Korean soldier or something. And they'll just come up with all sorts of stupid shit, like I flew Top Gun and I'm CIA and Area 51 and alien departments. And they come up with all sorts of crazy shit. And the soldier will interview them and go, oh, yeah, what's that? And I was like, I was in Top Gun. And what's that? I was a Navy SEAL. And what's that? I did this. And you got 3 purple hearts and 7 silver stars? Yeah. And I was like, wow, you're accomplished. CIA, this. And they go like, okay, this guy's fucking crazy. I'm not even going to try to embarrass him. Just ask some questions, leave him alone. Even though it's stolen valor, it's so fucking crazy that, it's sort of like, yeah, don't touch it. The guy's just not mentally well for some reason. So I found that to be quite fascinating. It was like one video and then it just segued to a few videos, and I thought, nah, I'm going to jump back onto other interesting YouTube content to watch. So that sounds interesting. Look up some stolen valor collaborative videos where they collaborate a heap of them together. There's one that goes for 1.5 hours long. It's like all of them, and that was just really, really amusing. How you going, mate? It's good for you to join us. How do you pronounce that? Jabolic? I'm not even going to pronounce it. Very sorry, can't pronounce your name, but how you going, buddy? I don't know what's silent, what's not. I'm very, very bad with unusual or foreign or strange words and names. It's one of the worst things when I do my Q&A sessions. There'll be some like crazy names, and it'll be like, I try to pronounce them, and they go, no, this is the pronunciation, and it's like, But people pronounce my YouTube handle name wrong, so I don't get upset because I can't pronounce other shit as well. It's all good. But, yeah, man, join the party. Telling some stories, doing a little modelling. If you got any questions or want to hear a cool story, ask away in the chat, and I'll embellish. So just sanding. At the moment, I've got a Churchill by Matchbox. Matchbox is a very old manufacturer kit. It's 1/76 scale, 3 colours, and these fetch for a lot of money on eBay. They're very, very collectible because Matchbox is a very renowned toy company, and they do the toy cars, and their old stuff are worth a lot of money because they're not made and whatnot. And it's a shame that someone buys it, puts it in their collection, and it disappears or whatnot. So when I buy these very old vintage kits that are worth, potentially up to $100 on eBay, even though sometimes I find them cheap for $10, $20, I choose to open the box, build it, but document the process, put it on YouTube. So in the future, when there's a day that all of these kits have disappeared, there's no more Matchbox kits, there's no more original Airfix kits, there's no more of anything else, particularly if the molds were lost, destroyed, whatever, there'll be a record of that kit existing, of it being built, what the runners look like, how's the process, how's the experience. And look, watching a video about a model is not the same as building the kit, but at least there's a record of it. It's a push to say it's sort of like being a model kit historian, but it's sort of, I find a way of collecting kits, enjoying it and sharing it ideal, because not only, I believe, when you buy a kit, you open it and build it, no matter how rare or hard it is to come by, no matter what your skill level is, but you share it. If it's rare, share the process, do an unboxing, show the runners, show the build. And if people can't buy that kit anymore, they can go, oh, okay, that's what the kit's like. And sometimes when there's enough demand, people going, I saw Blah do a video of this kit, and people make a big enough stink, they will maybe remake it or do a modern day version. By the way, did you print the AWOL from Gundam? Ah! Yes, you're that gentleman. I haven't posted the pictures yet because I don't have enough to show, and I'm waiting for something to come in. I'm waiting for some stuff to come in to do some more work on it. That's it, mate. I did a fairly good print. It's half to scale. This is a Gundam 00 small mobile armor thing that kills people and whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty good. There was a few challenges to printing it out, and it still needs a lot more work. But I'm going to be doing the acetone evaporative technique in a bamboo steamer. So I've got that on order, waiting for that to come in. I have cut all the supports off. I've sanded it. I'm going to smooth it all out in the bamboo steamer. Then it'll start to be assembled, slightly detailed, painted, and finished. So that's a project that I'm working on at the moment, and it's just really convenient that the kit was behind me. So yeah, it's printed out really, really nicely. There's a lot more work to be done on it. I could have done just a very basic print in colour, but I was thinking of doing a pretty neat diorama and doing it up to competition standard. I just got a little problem sticking the head on because it doesn't quite fit too well. So I'm going to hit that with a Dremel when it's all smoothed out, glue it together, putty sand, prime, paint time, detail and paint. So it's pretty cool. It's an excellent model. If you ever release it to the public or up for sale or something, I'm happy to give it a shout out. It was my first attempt at making a kit. Dude, man, that's an awesome attempt. My first attempt I haven't released yet, but yeah, all you need to do is if you've got a joint that fits in the hole, you need to make the hole offset by a mil. Though we've talked about that in private message. You're already aware of that. The next time you do something like that, I'm sure it'll be really amazing. And when you make another kit, I'm more than happy to look at it and think about making it or not. It's going to be hard to make it articulated because I've got a very small print bed. On a much larger print bed, this would be not an issue whatsoever to make it completely available. Is free on Thingiverse. Send me the file and I'll make sure that I'm following your Thingiverse accounts, and I'll give you a shout out on Facebook. I think that's definitely deserving of a shout out. And when I build the model and make the YouTube video, I'll send people in that direction that go, hey, built this kit, it's the finished model, go here to download it and build it yourself. I believe kit should be free on Thingiverse as well. So there you go, man. It's really good to chat to you live on stream. And I actually wanted to show you some pictures and stuff, but I'm working on about half a dozen different projects, and I kind of forgotten about it a bit because I'm waiting for that part. But I'm really glad to actually show and talk and pull each part and show you just how it came out. And the detail's quite good. What I did was I'd remove the support and I sanded it with about 80 grit sandpaper. Yeah, still keeping the detail. It's going to be smoothed out with acetone. And then from there, I could just keep working on it, and it should come to be finished at some stage. I'm just taking my time because I'd like it to be as nice as humanly as possible out of your respect, and that it's just a really, really cool project. So just really taking my time, and on the cheap rubbish 3D printer I have, it's just worked out very well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, there we go. You need to print the connector blocks at 101%. Everyone, the link's actually in the chat room, so that's pretty cool. Let's have a look, because I had the file sent to me in a zip file. Loading, 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 loading. There we go. Cool. Yeah, excellent, man. I completely agree with those directions and whatnot. Um, it just, yeah, the only thing that I would change if you're redrawing something on the head is that hex bit here. Just make that a bit smaller, or the hole here a bit larger, and that's it. But you're probably fully aware of that, and you're probably working on that anyway. So that's really cool. The shape thing. Yeah. So yeah, if you click on that link, that model is the model here. I was very lucky to get access to it before it was available, I think. But yeah, very, very cool. Thank you very much for that. I'll pack this up and go back to our kit. Keep it in a biscuit tin. It's pretty funny. So I had no intention of talking about guns in this stream, but you know that happens, man. You just never know what topics we jump on and things that we do. There we go. Now, where was I before we got onto that tantrum? So yeah, just sanding up the Churchill head. And that should come out quite nice. Give her a bit of a polish. And then we could just keep gluing parts to it. I don't think there's too many seams. This is probably the only noticeable seam. And there's crap all around it to hide it. So they sort of considered that sort of thing with these kits. I'll level with you. All I did was just glue and sand. I actually didn't even use putty. If there's a slight separating part, I don't think it'd be that noticeable. And we got a bit of a seam around our bridge. And we'll just sand that up all nicely. But no, this I started this kit last night. I actually worked on it when I was at work, so I couldn't do anything about the Lynx kit. I'm really enjoying it. I think this is a great build. I know there's an Airfix variant version, which is a different type of bridge layer than this one, but this one is just really, really cool. And it's a shame that it's just not really readily available anymore. But I'm super glad that I've got it. And unlike the Churchill version of the bridge layer, this one's actually got arms on it too, so it can fight and it can lay bridges. Which is, yeah, pretty crazy, but I suppose the reason why it's on a tank and not a truck is that it needs to lay bridges really, really quickly in siege-like environments of trenches or whatever, rivers, and deliver people or equipment or vehicles over a ravine under fire. The Churchill is a heavy tank. It's got decent armour, and besides SPGs and German armour, there's not much you can take it out in the way of, you know, combatants and all that. So once we're done sanding this up, we will get straight into cracking out the runners and continually building the turret, heading straight into the body. But yeah, the whole design, the detail, the chunks, the cross beams, I completely dig it. And it just goes together really, really smart, really, really easy. And there's just no seams anywhere where it all joins. I mean, with a little upgrading, you put the bridge components on a slightly more modern Churchill of better detail and proportions. This would easily pass as a modern kit. Yeah, that's good enough. you definitely tell how the box is scratched and shaped and whatnot, and a few stickers. It's past many collectors and many hands. Finally landed with me to be built. So this kit's got a lot of history, and it's got a bit of a diorama terrain piece that comes with it, which is very rare for kits in this day and age. And it claims to be 23 centimeters long. It's going to be something for my tank display. Tell you. It's a lot of steps to do. Hope I get this done tonight. I have to get familiar with the runners again. Cool, there's a little Matchbox logo just there. That's kind of cool enough to take a photo of. $19.82. Oh, we finally got a vintage to the tank. Have a bit of a snack. I swear, we get distracted a little too easily of really cool things. So I'm looking for a tiny part. Parts 22s. And I couldn't find that part last night. So, yeah, this is the runner I was looking at. It's probably on a different runner. The princess you are looking for is not in this castle. And not on this runner either. Also, I'm going to have to get some pretty fine wire or string or some shit. I don't know if I got any. Consider that. Whoa, I think I found it. What was the number again? 22, that's 18. 22! Finally, found your ass. Got 22. Glue it in. Long glue, so I have to tap the bottles to bring it all up to the surface. Stab it around and in the hole. Stick her in. You all know the game. I don't know if this is like an aerial or antenna or whatever the fuck it is. Though it's stuck in now, so that's all good. AC 719. I'm a very wealthy man, and me and my board of directors are very impressed with your work. We have a proposal for a mini to scale model of a bridge of our magnificent architects have been working on and thought would word of mouth. We heard you are the man and a master of your craft. Yeah, send me a private message. Not to, I don't want to be rude or anything. It kind of almost sounds like a Nigerian Prince deal, but I've actually been approached by manufacturers and companies before, and I have done some collaborations, so it's not beyond, but for someone to jump on the stream, I've never been approached that way. Send me a message, and we'll see how we can go from there. I've got the Facebook link somewhere, so that would be quite appropriate. A mini to scale model of a bridge. Yeah, we can see how that works. I'm not too sure how you've come across me, but that sounds like a fairly interesting project, if legit. And it just happens that we're working on a bridge layer today. So the next step we are looking at is 15 stowage bin, and then we've got 217 and the 39. Geez, it's too much parts. Sometimes I enjoy the S model kits a lot, and it could be a bit confronting when you're shown with a lot of parts, and especially when you're at the early end of the build. So we've got the stowage bin. It's a hollow piece, molded in one part. It's fallen in my crutch. And it's either fallen in the pocket. Yes. My carpet's kind of dirty a bit, and when the carpet monster comes out to fight, you drop a part. The part's normally the same color as the carpet. We've got a lot of plastic debris in the carpet because it's annexed from the house. It's sort of like, is that the part? No, it's just a bit of rubbish sprue. Is that the part? No, that's a bit of rubbish sprue. And that could be, yeah, pretty interesting. There we go. Sand the nubs away. Glue on, cut part out. Sand the nubs away, glue on. Most kits contain about 100 parts, 50 to 100 parts. 3 connecting parts of runners onto the sprues. That's 300 cuts, cleans, and removals. You calculate how many kits you've built over your lifetime. And the fit is not right. Oh, it's meant to be like that. That's kind of clever. So it's slightly separated. Yep, that's cool. So, jinx. If your 3D printer don't smoke, you need to have part of the full 3D printer experience. My 3D printer hasn't smoked before. I smoke. But due to the high heats involved, and some people who build and experiment with 3D printers and lasers have had house fires, I'm generally very careful and went to the effort of buying a fully enclosed one. I would be very worried if a 3D printer is smoking, and it's an experience I have not experienced. I've had giant blobs of molten plastic and the terrible stench across the house. I've gone that far before. Not smoking, no potential fire. And I'll be very happy if my 3D printing experience is no worse than that. I think the scariest thing that could have happened, that could have gone close to smoking in a fire, is the extruder head wasn't in properly and the magnet slightly released. One of the wires touched the heating chamber and melted all the way through to bare wire onto the chamber in the metal, and it just melted and completely separated. This was the power for the heating chamber. The power cut out, cooled down, print couldn't work. I had to buy a whole bottom half of the extruder, which was the tube that feeds in the heating solenoid and the the heating chamber, and the nozzle at the very bottom, which set me back like $150. So that kind of shit me off. Almost every 3D printer smokes in one time of his life. If you use ABS, it will smoke. Use ABS. It comes close to smoking once. Lucky I have not experienced... I've seen fumes come off, but not actual smoke. Sort of like potential fire smoke or something smoldering. I don't know if it's a good 3D printer or something. I know some of my friends who 3D print have had things smoke and almost ignite, but it's not everyone that I know that's happened. But yeah, I've had my power supply explode and some wires smoking. If the power supply is smoking, it means it's doing its job, because if the power supply doesn't smoke and that happens to another component, that's fire territory. The power supply is doing the right thing. My laptop power supply has smoked a few times. To get the magic poof of just a little smoke comes up, and then you're like, fuck, and you know it's fucked. But yeah, your power supply is smoking. That's almost understandable for high-powered devices. But print's good. Excellent, man. That's the most important thing. What's the brand of your printer? Unless it's one of those kits that you build and assemble. 10 days of printing on the printer. Fuck me. Though when I was doing the ship, the Federation ship for the Gunpla Builders World Cup, I virtually had it printing about 12 hours a day, every day for weeks on end. And it was just, I'd go home, print, go to work, come home, print, let it unsupervised print. Each print was about two and a bit hours. And it just fucking went day and night. I'd sleep 4 hours, wake up, put a print on, go off. Absolutely crazy. And it's almost drove me completely batshit crazy. 19. Should be somewhere here. They don't keep all their parts clustered. It'd be like 22, 21, 20, straight to 18. Where's the 19? Oh, found 19. No, it wasn't 19 I needed. 30. Fuck. I wanted 39. I'm not focusing too well. You probably have a pre-built 3D printer. Yes, I bought a pre-built one. It's a Up Mini. I didn't want to go through building one and tuning it and going through the thing. Just wanted something to work straight out of the box. 220, 220, 230. Sweet. That's actually exactly double to my specs. Though I would really like a 30 by 30 by 30, a much larger one. Though I was looking at the 50 by 50 by, sorry, the 40 by 40 by 40 one, that really massive open end one. That guy did like a giant Pikachu sculpt. No, sorry, it's like 40 by 40, and then it goes really high, maybe like 60. That 3D printer would be very, very nice to have. You do some pretty epic, huge stuff, and it just eats through plastic like crazy. I think it only takes PLA, maybe, but it's designed that you just put the cheapest rubbish filament in, and it just prints out pure magic and goodness. Millimeters, yeah, of course, millimeters. They're all measured in millimeters. That would be insane if that was centimeters, but in engineering talk, when we're talking measurements, it's always in millimeters. I mean, it's never 39. Finally found 39. Yeah, it's never in centimeters or other measurements, because rapid prototyping is something that belongs to the engineering industry, and it's something that's been used for, showing prototypes and all sorts of other things for manufacturers and engineers and all sorts of other things. So, yeah, that's it can be quite interesting. Tut it. It's a little bit of a hole. And we glue the little bastard in. So this is almost sort of like a 3D special of streaming with Al. Yeah. Man, I really dig this kit. It's a lot of fun. Details just so cool. I love vintage models. There we go. Next step, 17. This kit's, well, I don't know why I'm doing the kit with the highest parts count midweek. This should be near the end, so I could do a little bit, stop, a little bit, stop, a little bit. Nah, jump straight into it. But I was kind of excited to build it. So we're almost done with the turret. Yeah. For $500, you can have a big printer, 3x3x4. You get a 10% discount while joining the Facebook group. That is a huge discount just for joining our Facebook. Ah, yeah, that one. That one takes a lot of tuning. It's not for the faint-hearted. You have to be prepared to tinker and do all sorts of other things. It's not too bad, but the prints I've seen from this is not the best unless you know. Pardon me. What you doing? Though this could be an upgraded version from the one I've seen from a few years ago from my initial research. So this particular version of the stepper motors and drivers and whatnot could be a lot better than, in past. But that'd be pretty cool. I've got a Facebook group called 3D Printing to Scale Models Australia, where just a bunch of modelers come together and compare 3D printing notes. We have a few interesting discussions and we share 3D printing methods and whatnot. You may not live in the country or not. I'm not too worried about that, but feel free to join in and just see some of the projects people are doing. It's very, very fascinating. Okay. Almost finished. 2 more bits to glue. This turret is done. We can go on the main tank. Wait. What I'm really worried about the kit is, or this particular kit, is there's like holes and butts and whatnot. Already joined, man. Cool. Is a kit, so it's a kit, so it's good as you can assemble. Yeah, exactly. The kits generally, the best thing about the kits are if you're to buy it solid from the shop or be shipped to you, the kits are less than half price to the assembled stuff. I bought one of the cheapest fully assembled ones you can get, but my biggest problem is I've got a lot of access to resources and cash. I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately, mostly due to the amount of projects and commitments I have. Might need to employ some super glue. So that's why I weighed it up and I talked to a few people that did kits. And when I was looking at 3D printing a few years ago, the kits were not as good as they are now. My conclusion led to just going straight to a pre-built one. Though even with a pre-built one, there's a lot of modifying, a lot of tuning, a lot of fucking around till you get the perfect prints. Your first 2-3 prints out of a pre-built one are awesome, and then they just go downhill and they go to shit. And then you just need to find the right settings and right heating and right mechanisms and do some actual physical mechanical work to it until you can actually get it to do whatever you want it to do whenever you want it to be done. Opposed to you buy a printer off the shelf, you set it up in the corner, you feed it files, you feed it plastics, it feeds you models. There are some printers like that, like the Da Vinci's and whatnot, but it's just, even those require some work and love and care. What I've been doing lately and talking to some colleagues at my work that also 3D prints, I've been keeping a diary. Every time I do a print and I put in settings and plastic and whatnot, weather, all that sort of stuff, I notate it in the book. So if I'm trying to do something similar in the future, I can look at the settings and instead of going by memory, I know what worked and what failed in the past. I also record my failures, how many grams it comes out, speed, everything. Not you can get a built printer for $220 on Amazon and a kit for $160. Ooh, I don't know about $220 for a built printer. Unless you're talking about the Olo. There's a 3D printer called the Olo, which you can get built, and you need a smartphone to run it. And that's about $200 built, but it's an SLA printer. And SLA mechanically don't have a lot going for it. But the materials you have to put in, the SLA liquid resin, that costs a bit. There we go. If there's plastic extrusion printer kits and built ones going around for a few $100s coming from Asia or something, I'd believe that. Though I reckon the drivers and everything behind it are first gen. They might run off an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi. And then you have to provide some parts and stuff yourself, buy some nuts and bolts, build a box, set up the stepper motors and the chains and whatnot. And you literally have to physically build the frame yourself out of materials, bolt everything to it, the stepper motors, and it's just a really hollowing experience. A friend of mine has a Raspberry Pi and is trying to build a first gen 3D printer from just junk and crap and stepper motors off eBay. He's not doing too well at all. And then he has to program it and do the logic, hook it up to a computer. It's crazy work. It's like reinventing the bloody wheel to save some money. And some people have the know-how and they pull it off and they're happy to work at it. And 3D printing is a hobby in itself. Some people like the challenge of buying the kit and trying to get a box full of parts to an operating printer that makes beautiful models, make a few printed models and move on to the next thing. And other people just need a working printer like that to enhance what they're doing in their existing hobby. Monaco price PM selected compact desktop mini 3D printer. It's $200. 14 by 10 by 16 inches. It's about what? 30 something by 22, 24 by 35? I don't know. It's a 10-hour, 6-hour time build of the kit. To adjust is another 4 hours. I might have to look into that. Actually sounds alright. That could be a really cheap segue for people to get into 3D printing. Though still I believe what you put in is what you get out. Though at the same time, I spent $700 on my 3D printer, and it takes a slightly more expensive plastic, but the setup and print time was less than 2 hours. There we go. The turret is finally finished. Needs a tiny neaten up with some sandpaper. I'll do that later. There's a part trying to fall. Okay, it's done. It's getting fucking dark in here. Move that to let some light in. 400 by 100 by 150 millimeters. That makes more a lot more sense. Though that's pretty tiny. That's almost the same print size as mine, but just that's strange dimensions. Yeah, I could actually see how it'd be that cheap for those priced by that dimension. That could work. Wood can be printed because wood is like ground up wood mixed in with ABS. Most printers can do wood. It's just if it doesn't do the wood too well, there's holes and gaps. But wood's not that much of an issue, especially flex wood, because it's not too rigid and it's not going to be brittle, fall apart, and fuck up. But wood's pretty good. I've got some cement filament or stone filament where it's stone mixed in with ABS. I want to play with that soon, but I haven't got around to that yet. Though the wood is a lot of fun. It looks a bit weird, but I find that if you fill it with wood putty, sand it, and use wood staining varnishes or shellac, it looks really good whatever you print. So as long as you shellac it, it's perfect. The problem is it's sort of got the strength of cardboard. So it's not going to be a strong model. It's not going to be as strong as wood. So that's a misconception that needs to be addressed immediately. When you get some funds. Yeah, man, try wood. Definitely. I've got a video somewhere about my experience with wood. There's laywood, and then there's generic wood that's a lot cheaper than laywood. The generic stuff that's not the laywood brand is pretty good. But if you get the stuff with a little bit of flex, that's the best one to use. I also want to try the full flex, almost rubber-like filaments. You can almost do like polycaps. That'd be pretty sick. I just got to keep looking at the instructions and making sure I'm cutting stuff out in the right direction. Sorry, I've gotten a bit silent all of a sudden. Okay, so we're going 8, 6, 7, 8, 6, and 7. We'll clean and glue that together, and then we'll get to the other 3. How long are we into this? Because I might have to run off. Hour 20 minutes. We'll make this a 2-hour stream, so I'll float around for half an hour or a bit more. I'll do these few steps, and then I'm gonna have to take a break, do some stuff around the house, do a bit of cleaning, then I'll come back. Shit, it's almost 9 p.m. Running out of time. This kit might be finished quite late tonight as well as last night, but I don't think anyone minds too much. And I also need to get dinner going, and it's actually going to be a pretty late dinner, so. But I don't think you guys are not too concerned about that, which is completely understandable. So just how this kit comes together is, I keep saying, I really, really dig this kit. And I've done other Matchbox stuff and enjoyed it. I think just whatever Matchbox kits I ever find in the future, I'm just going to jump on. Even if it's a subject that I don't care too much, like a common German thing, like, I don't know, Tiger or whatever. This is just cool. It's fun. And I hope it's nostalgic for whoever comes across it and remembers these kits from the past that they built it when they were fairly new. That might be a bit of a thrill to re-experience. This one's going to be a very basic scheme. It's just going to be green, bit of shading, a wash, and that's it. I'm not going to heavily weather it or anything. It's quite old. I want to just keep it as basic looking as possible. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I didn't cut it out yet. 6. I thought I was missing a piece. I just didn't cut it out yet. It happens. It happens. Oh yeah. I think it's been a pretty practical stream. Done a bit of building. Cleans 2 airbrushes. Pretty happy with those results. Now we're just building this insanely fun kit. Ooh, that nub mark is massive. Just got to see, there's like a massive flash, but I want to see where the flash is going to disappear. Oh, okay, it's not even going to be seen because there's tank tracks to go over it. That's not a problem. Don't have to clean it up too much. So I could have spent 15 minutes sanding the flash and it's just like, no. I sanded a bit so the tracks can lay flush on it. But I'm not going to do a super neat job. I've also got some beef jerky on the go. I'll be making beef jerky today. No, not beef jerky, goat's jerky. And I bought it yesterday and marinated it in barbecue sauce, liquid smoke, and some rubbing salts. So it's a very basic recipe compared to other ones I've done. Though the goat meat is just really, really good. And I want to make sure that flavour gets through. So that's all good and fine. Okay, so just going to make sure that we are connecting it properly. That's about right. Yep, that's correct. Get some cement onto it. Man, I wish I'd make more 70-second tanks like this in its construction style of ease and whatnot. Not like how Russian or Dragon does it and whatnot. This is almost like a more complex Pegasus or whatever kit. Hang on for a sec. In the right direction. Bang! It's pretty cool. Goes on quite nicely. Very, very interesting. It appears like the running gear or the suspension doesn't actually touch the wheels. But when it all goes together, it has the illusion that it does. And being a Churchill, you put the tank tracks on, and it's really good. So instead of gluing about 1 billion little wheels here and sandwiching it, because the Airfix kit's not too bad, though it can misalign and whatnot because it's got solid wheels. These are very thin wheels because it knows it's going to be hidden, where the FX kit goes a bit realistic, gets covered by the track, and it actually looks really, really good. Though it has in mind ease in assembling. And this could be probably, without experiencing what the Dragon Churchill is like, this could easily probably be the best 70-second tracks for a Churchill. Without getting too ahead of myself. So yeah, really, really well done. Shit, I might even go as far as saying that this experience that I'm having right now is probably the most fun vintage kit tank that I've built. So that was a lot of there we go. And take a picture of that all done, and then put some running gear on it, just as something else to do. So I got some rubber trucks here. I'm going to do the tracks a bit differently with this kit. I'm not going to put all the way around like it suggests. I'm just going to glue a bit of it. I just slice off as close as possible to the treads with the hobby knife. This one's quite neat. I'm not seeing a lot of dag or faults. It's too long. Oh wait, no, there's more wheels to add before I glue it on. My bad. That's why it was overly long. Well, luckily I didn't glue anything down. Well, second step. Sometimes you jump ahead and you do some crazy stuff. So a lot of people ask me, how do I find these old, vintage, unusual, weird kits, resin kits, the Lynx pewter cast kit, and a lot of these you don't really find online because people who have them know what they're worth, what they are, they do their research. I just spilled a tiny puddle of glue. I'll just mop that up first. Hope I haven't lost too much. Nah, that's just only a dribble. Cool. I have to buy some cement later. Not because I spilt too much, just because I'm really running low. I think I've got another jar of extra thin somewhere over there, which I can probably just use instead of buying another one. Instead of doubling up on the 1,000 stuff, use what you have. Yeah, back to the story. A lot of people ask me, where do I find these kits? And online doesn't seem to, or you can find kits online, but it's what you're prepared to pay for, and it's where you look online. There's a few auction sites such as like Mandaraki and whatnot where you can find really old kits, but the customer service and shopping with them is very confusing and it can kill you in shipping. But you can find some really cool stuff. Though, if you go to actual swap cells, if you associate with older clubs, IPMS, whatnot, people whose average age is like 35, they do swap cells and they sell stuff in their backlogs and things that they've been sitting on for 20, 30 years. And there's normally a large collection of old kits that are just not too desirable. And it just keeps swapping hands until it lands in someone's lap that they're actually willing to build. So if someone will go to Swap Milk and they'll buy a ton of kits, they'll build some that year over the years, and they realize they got too much, they sell them off. Sometimes people become deceased or whatever. Though there's always tons of secondhand kits being sold in that way, as well as groups. A lot of secondhand Facebook groups, though people are a bit quick to jump on them. If you watch them very carefully, you might pick up some old kits at a fairly reasonable price or some rare or unusual subjects. So just have a good look on those groups and swap and sells. And you can actually negotiate price, or what you can do is if you buy multiple kits, more than one, you can lower price, arrange pickup, do all sorts of things. I've done a lot of really unusual and strange purchases in message boards, private chat, Facebook, forums, and swap and sells. And that's probably where I've gotten some of my most rarest, unusual, and strange kits, such as the 7 kits I'm building for this series. And you get them as excellent prices too. So it's nothing to sneeze at. Give me 2 seconds. Now, I've got like an untouched bottle of cement there. I went there for another reason, but yeah, it's like an untouched bottle of extra thin cement. I was going to go out and buy another one. That's fucking ridiculous. So, you know, when you got a lot of shit, you got a lot of shit. When you run out, you go, oh, I'll just grab it. And you go down to your last bottle. But cement's something you rarely run out of. Anything, you probably spend more time sloshing and tiny amount leaking when it's in a toolbox or something than the amount you actually use. Though I find that I use a lot more cement in building armor than any other subject. Gundam doesn't use up a lot of cement. Barely any. Aircraft could potentially be very consuming with cement, though not a big aircraft fan. Builds a few kits. You put the fuselage and the wings together, they're big pieces. So I think it's all the small pieces that armor has that really sort of just really drinks the glue. It's really high parts count. Tons of little bits going here and there and everywhere. I need to get another one of these quick settings mixers. Just works so well for me. Awesome. Oi. We're at half an hour. We'll log off. And what should we talk about next? I almost ran out of concepts. Yeah, Tank Week. So last night I had work. I struggled finishing the links. And I was really, really late with it. But at least I got a finish that I was very happy with. So I've got no regrets. Not even really sorry. It's just a bit of a personal challenge. I know with much larger YouTube channels and people that get a partial income, they build a few kits a week, and I was just curious if I had the stamina to, put out as many kits as they do. Though raise the stakes and make it even more than they do. One kit every day, 7 days. And also, there's been controversy on YouTube. Every channel, as big as, your PewDiePies and whatnot, all the way down to your middle, small, and 100,000 subscriber channels, have sort of been complaining of every time a video is posted, there's people being forced unsubscribed out of the channel, or videos not appearing in feeds and stuff. Yeah, it's affected us, but not too fast. We have a big presence on social media and other outlets, so we still got traffic coming in. But I thought, since there's been a bit of a depression in views and whatnot, and it's not really my fault or anyone's fault or even YouTube's fault, I thought I'd sort of, play around with the algorithm and see what a video every day would do. Put that on social media, put it everywhere, and people would just notice, hey, the stuff coming out, oh shit, am I subscribed or not subscribed to the Mokanaman? And that could just sort of, make sure that my bases are covered. So that's done. Next step. So we're halfway through. 35. 31. Soon we'll be on the green. 35. And 31. Though I've been on YouTube, I've been making videos for about 5-6 years. I've been on YouTube for close to 7-8 years, watching other gunpowder and modelling stuff. And it's very safe to assume, with just how long I've been, I've seen every controversy come and go. Of changes and layouts and whatnot. From where you could have friends and subscribers and post directly on people's walls and do video responses to just other things. I'm not too concerned when changes occur because they're just temporarily. I mean, YouTube can do stuff. People make a big stink and complain and whatnot, but everything's the same. People still make content. YouTube is the biggest video platform on the internet. There's a community, there's a crowd. It meets the needs of what I do, what other people do. If you guys keep coming and viewing and supporting, there will always be something here. So no matter what big controversy that comes out, as long as there's an audience, even a very, very small one, we'll just keep working. And that's the most important thing. Not about, money or subscriptions or anything, which, if you're getting a few 10,000, 100,000, a million numbers, yeah, it's cool. But in the end, it's fun. I've got a day job for a reason. And if my day job was modelling, I'd probably hate it. So, yeah, I just thought with all this negativity about YouTube controversy and some people thinking there's a whole thing of more left social justice warriors crashing down on content that is controversial and not being monetizable friendly, and people believing that their channel's just going to die because they might say the word bastard or fuck or whatever. People are over exaggerating, so you click, you freak out, you follow your you follow your favorite YouTube videos even closer, and it's a marketing ploy just to get more attention from future viewers, as well as furtherly engaging in your existing viewers. So when you're seeing people make a big stink out of a small YouTube thing into like a big thing, it's a marketing ploy by those channels to just engage you more. So don't be too fearful. They actually want you to be scared on purpose, which is a bit cruel. We're all colleagues. I'm very transparent. I do believe in transparency with the channel. You won't get that fear mongering out of me whatsoever. What? Okay, so it's like that. It goes in like this. And, oh, surprise, surprise, the fit's shit. There we go. And then we shall apply some glue. Still don't understand how people stream for like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. I'm told you want to make it big on Twitch, you need to stream for many, 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 many hours. It's like, man, doing half an hour is hard as hell. Building, you're talking to chat, you're talking, you're focusing on what you're doing. Maybe it works with video games, but just with the creative streams, damn. You have to be like really prepared too. I'm not prepared for shit. I'm like prepared for work, I'm prepared for, you know, life stuff. Good enough. I don't think it works. I'm just being very careful. I don't want to just fuck up at this stage, so that's why we're sort of going very, very slowly. The second half, which is already there. I wish I could play music for awkward silences. I should. It can't be fucked. I do that today. So I was very talkative and happy and bubbly and whatnot, and doing that for about almost 2 hours. It's sort of like, what am I doing? Why I'm here? Blah blah blah. It's like, well, I'm complaining. I'm doing it for fun. I'm having fun actually. So, there we go. What the fuck? There we go. Yeah. But no, for those who's definitely coming and tuned in and interacting and chatting and or just sitting there and watching and just supporting, man, thank you very much. It's much appreciated today. Definitely going to grow this stream out and do some interesting and fun things and just show off stuff. And when people ask, you know, just random questions like, oh, how's that project? I'm going to just stop and go, and just pull it out and go, this is what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll just do a quick test fit. That fits good. We add cement. I have to remember to do it on camera. That just evaporates immediately. I put the glue, it's wet, and it goes dry. So I tried to make sure it's built up so it's a bit wet. It's melting the plastic and then it just absorbs in. Make sure I got a really good strong bond. There we go. Nice and tight. Get some wheels in. They all look to be the same wheels, so that's kind of cool. 30. Oh, not quite the same wheel, but close enough. So where we have the cutout, we've got the 30. 30. And for the other one, it's all 28. Oh, 29, sorry. So we'll cut those wheels out, jam them in. We come quite close to the runner so there's no cleanup. There we go. That'll look alright. That should be covered by the... Yep. And we glue them in. Just make sure they're the right orientation. And that's for the big cutouts. So about here. And let's just jam some cement on. Oh, Jesus Christ, I put so much detail in and it's going to be completely almost hidden. Being low on glue sucks. It's annoying. It's probably not ideal for streams, but it's what naturally happens in the hobby. I should be more sorry, but I'm not. There we go. That sits on there beautifully. And we'll do the same for here. Sticks in there. We'll probably wrap it up soon. I'm definitely going to have to invest in some sort of dinner. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned. That just came out automatically. Tank Week. We are on day 4 today, so we're past the halfway point. This video, in theory, will be coming out before midnight tonight. Though I don't like those chances happening. So I want to do a decent job. Though, at some very short interval, you will get a video of this tank. Very short period of time. So this binge build. The pictures of some work in progress pictures as well as the finished models is posted all on Facebook. This will also be posted on Facebook and YouTube as well as on some popular groups. And I'll also do another stream tomorrow, somewhere around midday or whatnot, and run another 2-hour stream. Saturday I won't stream because I've got activities during the day, and Sunday we'll have our last Tank Week stream, which be a good way of wrapping everything up. And for the Sunday one, we might do the last Matchbox kit. Tomorrow I will be doing the German low tank preparation for the Pegasus E25 or whatever it is. Okay. And get these 4 wheels cut out. So yeah, that will conclude with Tank Week, and then we'll go back to our regular scheduling. After that, we shall be doing a Q&A sometime next week, and I've got some a ship and a resin kit that's done. That's gonna have the video's done and already uploaded. It's just scheduled to be released then, so that will come out. Then we'll have some more tank videos, which is done way long ago and just release scheduled. And then after that, I've got a few other things that are almost done. There'll be videos by then. And by next year, we'll probably go back to only doing 1 video a week because I would have run out of content. So I had a really big backlog of content, tanks, all sorts of things just wrapping up. And instead of just sitting on them, I thought, you know, go a bit heavy on the content. And when we run low, we just turn it off a bit. And being short videos, it's okay. When I did a lot of airbrushing videos, all half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, that would have been a bit heavy, but it's just videos that just need to be out there. They're out there now, so it's not a drama no more. It's there for whoever needs to find them and whoever needs to use them. Okay. But yeah, again, thanks, and we'll catch you guys later. I'm signing out now. Have a good one.